searching for someone I used to know. The feeling was so good, but now it's gone. I'm in the phone book, turning the page to find calling numbers. I'm getting no reply. I'm running out of time. Gotta get.
And I know the down been slow before.
It was just the other day.
You are turn left or right, and I don't know.
My memory keeps fading, so I turn left, but then that's wrong. Then I try right, and now I'm back home. No, this ain't deja vu. I'm just missing you. I'm calling if you hear me.
I saw you in my mind. Conversations with you all the time. Like a child who needs their kiss. Good night. I wanna be where you are. Where you are.
Have you ever lost something that was dear to your heart? Tried to cover it up, but the pain was too much. Well, you know just how I feel. It's time to put down my pride, even break down walls to get back to.
Lord, I'm fighting hard to be close to you.
Every single day,
So confused with life, what should I do?
I'm wondering, can you save me? Sometimes I'm up and sometimes I'm down, seeing the same things all around and but it's not deja vu. I'm just missing you. I'm calling if you hear me.
I saw you in my mind. Conversations with you all the time. Like a child who needs their kiss. Good night. I wanna be where you are. Where you are.
Now I've been running back and forth with you. Feel like I've been lost for way too long. Come both day and night, I'll search to find where you are. Where you are.
You may be going through and you feel like you're the only one that's experiencing your situation.
God bless you. God bless you. And God bless you. This is the Empowerment Bishop, Bishop Ricky Carr. And we are happy to be here with you tonight live. Yes, we are live tonight. And it's good that we are. I've been busy doing a lot of things. Some of you know that I'm a licensed IRS enrolled agent, and I help a lot of people get their taxes straight, whether it is tax planning, tax advice, or representing them before the IRS to try to eliminate or minimize your debt to the IRS. Yes, I'm the bishop. You can call me the IRS bishop. I think I like that. The IRS bishop. Yes, I try to take care of you. Yeah, but we try to take care. I have a firm, and we work to either increase your income or make sure you hold on to what you have. That's what we do. We look for things inside the tax code that will help you keep more of your money so you can use it for your family. That's right. Yep, for your family. So the IRS bishop, I think I like that. Might use that tag right now. Well, this is another episode. Glad you're joining us. You can share, tag, and you can make a like the post. Get the word out. If you look at me on YouTube, you definitely can. You can tag me over there, and also you can watch for that bell. That bell let you know I got a new program out. I want you to see. got a new program that I want you to see. And tonight I need to check some things real quick. Haven't tried this in a while. Let me see if it's still working. Yeah. Getting my sounds right. Yeah, I'm just getting my sounds right, making sure everything is in place. Good to see you, Bishop-elect Anthony Dotson, and also Serlene. Good to see you. Today is a good day. This is a good day. I think I have as a quote for this particular program, having money is a decision. I think that's the quote for this program. Having money is a decision. See, accumulating wealth and managing finances, you got to understand that, is not a passive choice. It's not a passive choice. It requires choices and actions. It requires that. You know, I've been in church a long time, and there are people that they want you to trust their interpretation of what they said God said. Let me say that again. They want you to trust their interpretation of what they said God said. And they don't want you to challenge them. That's interesting. I have to trust what you say God said. In other words, what I'm trusting your interpretation of what he said. And you don't want me to challenge it. They don't want you to challenge it. Then if it doesn't work out, now you're in spiritual warfare. Okay. You said, God said, you interpret it a certain way. When it doesn't turn out the way you interpret it, your faith was off, and or it's called spiritual warfare. And that's how it's left. Well, a lot of time what happens is when people are confronted with that scenario, when someone said God said this and another, people then use what they call an educated guess. Based on the information that's given, then and the reason behind the information, they just make a impulsive guess. Sometimes people make a uneducated guess. There is no information other than God said it, and then you just move on that. Both are not necessarily the ideal approach to take in such a matter like that. What you need to do is learn to make a decision. A decision is a deliberate choice. Listen to me carefully. A decision is a deliberate choice and is made after you consider various factors and options. After you consider various factors and options, that's when you make your choice. That's called making a decision. Making a decision. Don't build your life off of making guesses. Make decisions. And since a decision based upon what we just have given to you, it's a process. So you can't tell me what God said, and in 2 minutes, I'm going to follow that. Y'all don't like that, do you? We must learn how to make better decisions. And what I have learned is your temperament is a strong indicator of the type of decision maker or guesser you are. Your temperament is a strong indicator of what type of guesser or decision maker you are. So tonight we're going to talk about that. What is your temperament? What is your temperament? Because it's what's going to be used to make either a decision or a guess. This is good stuff right here, man. This is some good stuff right here. Let's get into it. I put it up here tonight. It's not the devil. It was a bad decision. Sometimes when there is a wreck in your life, something is just not going right in your life, we like to put it on the devil. Somehow or another, the devil is a lie. I rebuke the devil in the name of Jesus. Sometimes, is it possible that what really happened was you made a bad decision? Could that be possible? Is it possible it's not spiritual warfare? It is a bad decision. That is what caused the wreck, the disaster, as you see up here. It could have been a bad decision that you made and not necessarily spiritual warfare. Let's look at that. Let's talk about that. You got to get down to the root of this thing here. Here's the agenda for tonight. We're going to talk about temperaments. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence. We're going to talk about emotions. We're going to talk about feelings. And we're going to talk about meaning. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. And let's see what we come up with. Let's get going. So let's get our assignment in. We're coming from 1 Samuel chapter 25, verses 30 through 33. Let's look at this. And it shall come to pass when the Lord shall have done to my Lord according to all the good that he hath spoken concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel, that this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offense of heart unto my Lord, either that thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my Lord has avenged himself. But when the Lord shall have dealt well with my Lord, then remember thy handmaid. And David said unto Abigail, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. And blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which has kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with my own hand. Now, let's kind of give the context to this story. Nabal had some property. David sent his soldiers to him and said, look, we need some food and, things like that. And, I've been good to you. I've spared your property and everything. So can you show us some favor? And Nabal got to talking rough, talking stuff. He betrayed David. He decided not to remember the good David has and favor David has shown to him. So the servants go back and tell David, look, man, we went to this dude, man. And look, this guy just wouldn't do. And so they began to provide all of the facts to David. David heard everything this guy said. And David became emotional. David got into his feelings. And while he was in his feelings, he decided to round up his army and say, look, we going to him now. I'm going to take this guy out. He's wrapped up in his feelings right now. On his way there, Abigail approached him. And what she began to do was reason with him and say, look, God is going to elevate you to be the king over all Israel. Do not let this here be a stain. Don't let this be a mark against you that will cause God not to extend this opportunity to you. Don't let this happen. And in the rage and in the anger that he was in and in his feelings, she penetrated, reminding him of his purpose, his future, what's ahead of him. And so therefore, the servants spoke facts. She spoke truth. She reminded him of what God's intention was for him. And based on her advice to not pursue this guy, he began to stand down and decided not to kill Nabal. Most of the times when you are making bad decisions, it's when you are emotional. And then your emotions become feelings. In that emotional state, that's where most people make bad decisions, or they start guessing. They start guessing. We want to share tonight. We're going to talk about how do you handle emotions. You don't want people to manipulate your emotions in order to retrieve something from you. Oh, that's good stuff right there. Do not let people manipulate your emotions and then tell you while you in the state of your emotions, God said. And do not give you the time that is necessary to make a sound decision. But rather, they want you to make an educated guess that, well, this is the information. It sounds all right, so I'm just going to use my impulses. No. Let's not do that. Let's look at your temperament, because I want you to see where some of us might be struggling the most. Your temperament has to deal with the way you handle social intelligence or your social circle, how you make decision making, and how you manage relationships. Your temperament is very crucial. Your temperament is inborn. And you have to determine what your temperament is, what special skill sets, what weaknesses, what wants and needs do you have that's connected with your temperament. Not the personality test. I ain't talking about that. Your temperament test that deals with your inborn natural instinct. It's three of them. The three types. You have the melancholy, choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, supine. Now, the reason I'm sharing this tonight is because this is my study. My master's degree was in counseling with advanced certification. And I also provide counseling to people. And I use this particular tool because you'd be surprised. This can help you move forward in your assignment if you can identify and understand where your strengths are and how to operate in it. So when I provide this temperament test using the tools that I specialize in, it can help you in your decision making. Now, let's check this out real quick. Melancholies. Generally speaking, melancholies are good decision makers. So if you are a melancholy, you are an excellent candidate for making good decisions. You need to know that. So when you do your test and you realize that's who you are, you know that's going to be one of your powerful strengths right there. The next one is cleric. Clerics, they have a tendency of making quick decisions. They're like a quick decision maker. That is dangerous. They make decisions on the spot. Sometimes it might not be a decision, but they're guessing. They hear information and they just go in. They just go in. Sanguines. Sanguines generally are good decision makers at times, because sanguines are constantly in their emotions and in their feelings. So it depends upon where they are in their emotions or their feelings, which will determine if they can make good decisions. Phlegmatics. They are quiet people, but they are capable of making good decisions. So they are capable, good decision makers. They are capable of it. And then last, supines. They really just prefer to be included in the decision-making process. They don't like making decisions on their own. Now, it's very important that you understand where you are here. Because remember, I said most of the time it's in your decision making, it's in your emotions, is where you make decisions and or guesses, and it determines your future. It's very important that decision making is just very, 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 very important. I got the scripture here coming from Luke 14:28. Jesus said this: "For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he hath sufficient to finish it," not to build it, to finish it. When somebody proposes something to you and they're attacking your emotions, and then you are careful, you're making decisions and you haven't counted the cost yet to see if this is going to affect something in the future. You got to pay your mortgage, you got to pay your bills, and you're not trying to impress people with your big faith. Never try to impress people with your big faith. You have to count the cost. This is what Jesus said. And this is why, so you have to look at one of these 5 temperament areas here to see where you fit, to see where your decision making lies. And then with the temperament, it provides solutions how to overcome that. We don't have time to go into all of that tonight, but it's a very thorough process. Emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? It has to do with learning how to manage moods, feelings, atmospheres, and energy. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Learning how to manage your moods, your feelings, atmospheres, and energy. That's emotional intelligence. It goes on further. Understanding the difference between your emotions and my feelings. Check this out. There's a difference between emotions and your feelings. And we're going to talk about that, I think, in the next slide. We're going to talk about that. But what I don't read is the scripture right here coming from Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. You hear that? And he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. You have to control your emotions by learning how to manage your moods, feelings, atmospheres, and energy. You must learn how to do that. So when people try to focus on your emotions, exploit your emotions in order for you to carry out something that they said God said for you to do, which you haven't had time to investigate to see if God really told them that. Yes, God does speak, but I don't know if God spoke to you. Ooh, wait a minute. I need, let's do this real quick here. Yeah, I don't know if God spoke to you or he spoke. I just know if he spoke to you. And so therefore I have to go through my decision-making process so I can control and manage my emotions. I can manage my moods, my feelings, my atmospheres, and my energies. That's good stuff right there. Let's move on. All right, what's it? What I got here? Okay, emotions. Something that you need to understand about your emotions. Let me explain something to you. Your emotions is nothing more than your physical sensation. It's more a biological thing. Our bodies are equipped when certain things happens, it triggers a physical sensation. That's all it does. And so you can understand that we're not going to try to go into all this biological stuff, but I will say this much. We have items. Our bodies, it's a matter, and it has items. I mean, atoms. Atoms are building blocks. These atoms, their nucleus inside this atom called protons, which is positive energy, neutron, which neutral energy, and electron, which is negative energy. The reason this is so important, it goes to show you that we're energy. We're made of energy. And this is how come you can go into a room, you ever been into a room and you can sense some negative energies or positive energy. You built that way. In Matthews 9:24 and verse 25, listen to this. He said, talking about Jesus, go away, for the girl is not dead, but is sleeping. And they laughed and jeered at him. But when the crowd had been sent outside, Jesus went in and took her by the hand, and the girl got up. Jesus walked into a room where there was negative energy. They were jeering him. They were laughing at him because he said the girl's just sleeping. They're like, what's wrong with this man? This girl's dead. And it was time for him to work a miracle. Jesus said, put him out. Get him out my room, because right now it's too much negative energy. When he got him out, then Jesus took this girl by the hand and she got up. It's amazing what Jesus understood about our bodies and energy. So you got to be careful that you understand your emotions is nothing more than a physical sensation. But I want to go a little bit further than that. Let's go a little bit further. Let's go a little bit deeper. Now, my feelings, that's a little bit different. My feelings happens when I begin to, as we see here, interpret my physical sensation. When I begin to interpret my physical sensation, when I put meaning to it, now I find myself in a position where I'm going to make either an uneducated guess. In other words, I hear information, I come to a reason, and I come to my own conclusion what I think it is. Educated guess, well, an educated guess goes just a little bit further because it has a tendency of evaluating some things, but still it's not the same as the making decision process. The making decision process, now I not only I have the information and the reason that people gave to me. Not only do I have that, now what I decide to do is I come up with options, and I do the pros and cons of each option. And then once I pick out the option that seems to be the most favorable option, then what I do, I then evaluate the cost, the risk, and the consequences associated with that. Give an example. You tell me God told me to give some money. Okay. I can make an uneducated guess or an educated guess and just go by instinct or impulse. That's going to be a problem. If I go through my decision-making process, I have to ask myself, I got some choices. Okay, what I'm going to do if I give all this money, how much do I have money for the week? How long this money is will God really give me my money this time next week? You see what I'm saying? You just go through that. But if you say, I think God will give me my money next week, now you're making a guess. Then you're making a guess because you sure don't know that. You have to ask yourself, what's the cost of this guess? What am I risking with this guess? And am I willing to live in the consequences? Am I willing to go home for the next week or two, broke, not having any money, because I made a guess that maybe it'll happen or maybe it won't? You see, in a situation like that, you might call yourself in spiritual warfare. No. You made a bad decision. And now you want to label that as spiritual warfare so you don't take responsibility of making a bad decision. Oh, my goodness. I remember one occasion, coming from Luke 10:26, this guy came and asked Jesus a question. And here we go. Jesus said unto him, what is written in the law? Then he asked him, how readest thou? See, how you interpret what you feel, how you interpret this sensation is what matters, is what counts. So you have to be very careful when you are in your feelings. I try to tell people all the time, when you are in your feelings, it is very important that you slow down and follow a decision-making process. Do not go about your gut and how you sense this and I just believe this. Whoa, 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 whoa. You need to follow the decision-making process so you can make the best choice you can. Here we go with the last piece, meaning. You got to understand something between impulse and action, sensation and action. That's where the decision takes place. And it's in there, you have to be careful. I like to encourage people to widen the gap. What do I mean by that? Between impulse and action, take your time and use the decision-making process and let no one manipulate your emotions by saying God told them something and they interpret what they said God told them, and their interpretation benefits them and not you. Woo, boy, I said a lot right there. I need to put some music on that. Oh, yeah, I had to put some music on that. Look at Ephesians 4:26. It says, be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Now, the reason I'm bringing that in, there is nothing wrong for you to be emotional. There's nothing wrong for you to have anger. None is wrong. Nothing wrong there. The problem comes in when you act on that. You never want to act in anger. It's okay to be angry, but you're going to act based on your decision, on a sound, solid decision. Never act on anger, because you may find yourself sinning when you act on anger rather than act based on your decision-making process. Boy, that's good stuff right there. Woo! Let's do the recap. We talked about temperaments. We talked about emotional intelligence. We talked about emotions. We talked about feelings, and we talked about meaning. What I want to share with you real quick here, because I want you to have this. We do have the temperament program that we offer. And if you feel like you need to know what your temperament is and you want to get a better understanding, right now, you're going to see my number. You're going to see my email address. I'm going to let it roll for a little while. We offer this service so you can help you discover your value. You're very valuable, and this program can help you discover your value. We use the Honor Profile system. It's a nice clinical diagnostic tool to help you realize your God-given temperament. And I put there, you see, I'm a licensed clinical and certified temperament counselor. So this is what I do by profession. I have my master's degree in this, and we help people to simply discover who they are so they can maximize their productivity on planet Earth. It's no accident. It's no accident. We can help you maximize your productivity. So if you call that number or if you email us, you can receive this particular temperament management test analysis, so you can figure out who you are and take control of your future. This is good stuff right here. And therefore, I want to leave you with this. The wealth of the sinner belongs in your hands. I got my little thing there covering this up, but I'm going to tell you what it says. No margin, no mission. Believe.